A Giants podcast for Giants fans
By Giants fans.
from the offseason through the wins and the losses. It's time to take one Giant step.
Welcome into One Giant Step. One giant momentous night, one giant momentous week. And I don't think we can understate this at all. We could break down stuff. We could get into the ins and outs. Or we could just enjoy the hell out of the fact that the Giants, undoubtedly as a franchise, just had their single greatest moment since winning a playoff game in 2022. And when you take into account the noogies that the Philadelphia Eagles have basically given the Giants and what Giant fans have felt defeated versus that franchise, when you take all of that into account, you could make the argument that this is the greatest win that this franchise has had since Super Bowl 46.
That's okay. I'm not going to go that far because of the win.
Hi, Bryce Gelman.
Vikings. Hey, what's up? We kind of just jump right into this. I just came off alive and I said this word. Shaun, what we experienced tonight was cathartic.
Yeah, that's a good word.
That's what it was. It's cathartic. And it's the idea of psychological relief after years and years of pain through expressing an emotion. And both of us are expressing this, and millions of Giants fans out there are expressing it as well. I wouldn't go that far to say this is the biggest win since Super Bowl 46 because the Giants didn't win a playoff game.
I know they did
2.5 years ago. But
I know they did.
I understand. This feels different. Feels different.
I understand that they won a playoff game, and I love that playoff win. But if you think about the aftermath of the playoff win, let's just go there right now. It kind of set the franchise back, and we didn't realize that at the time, so we relished and cherished. I don't think there's a scenario where tonight's win versus the Philadelphia Eagles sets the franchise back. In fact, you can make the case it sets the franchise forward. Forget the coach stuff and all that, and we'll have a whole season to figure that out. Our young rookie quarterback, without either of his two top wide receivers, was playing in his first ever game versus a team that the Giants simply have not been able to beat. In fact, they've beaten them just 7 times since that playoff loss where Plaxico Burress was not available in 2008. Just 7 times for a team you face twice a year. Couple of those wins being very meaningless last week of the season wins as well.
It was his first division game.
It
was his first NFC East game.
And for the first time since 2009, the Giants scored an opening touchdown on their first drive for 3 straight weeks. Last week was the first time in how many games that the Giants in back-to-back games scored touchdowns on their first 2 drives? Well, they did it in back-to-back weeks. And
Shaun, did you see, I don't mean to cut you off, but did you see the stat on the broadcast that said this is the first time the Giants have scored more than 7 points in the first quarter in 81 games?
Yeah, in 81 games. Dude, all of this is incredible. But I think the most incredible part of it all, and it's a reason I already want to rewatch the game, Bryce, this Giants team has beaten the you-know-what out of us mentally. And for many of us, and I don't mean to tie anybody who's a Met fan, don't take this way, but either way, you guys haven't had the playoffs, and I get that. The Yankee fan who just came off this elimination, and you were looking at tonight, how many of us woke up today upset about the baseball being over and going, ugh, and we get the Philadelphia Eagles playing the Giants, and meaning that, ugh, a Saquon documentary's come out. Even if you were trying to find the silver linings and be pumped up, let's be honest, deep down, you didn't believe they were going to win this game. And not only did they win the game, they beat the shit out of the Philadelphia Eagles. And like, not on fluke stuff, like in the trenches, the Giants' offensive line dominated the Eagles' defensive line. And I don't want to hear that Jalen Carter was out of the game. They chose to take him out of the game or not have him play because of the turf. Well, how'd that work out? You took the Giants lightly. And the Giants didn't have Malik Neighbors. The Giants didn't have Darius Slayton. I don't hear the injury excuse from the Philadelphia Eagles. No. Okay. And I'm not a Slayton guy, but the point is the depth was tested. I mean, little Jordan Humphrey was the number 1 wide receiver. And with the rookie quarterback, the Giants beat the shit out of them in the trenches. And I'll keep cursing. I don't care. And Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo, as 2 rookies, toyed with the Super Bowl champions all night long. And defensively, for all the crap we've given Shane Bowen, and I still don't love Shane Bowen, the Giants defense toyed with the Philadelphia Eagles all night long. And there were times the pass rush went away early where I thought, oh God, are they really going to blow this? That was incredible. That was a team win. And I think that's what's so resounding about this, Bryce. We walk away after losses going, well, if the defense did this, well, if the offense did this, even some wins, we walk away going, boy, this guy made that play. But geez, this part of the ball almost gave the ball back. Even the special teams, I know they missed the extra point, but the returns, the coverage, this was as full throttle a team win that the Giants have had in so long. And I know they won a game a couple weeks ago, and we love that Charger win, but they destroyed the Philadelphia Eagles at home in prime time for the world to see with their young franchise quarterback arriving before our eyes. And why I think it's franchise changing above anything else, I don't know what the ceiling is for Jackson Dart. And you want to say he's going to be a top 5 quarterback? We hope so. You want to say he's going to be a top 3 quarterback? Geez, I hope so. Top 10 quarterback? I mean, yeah, top 15. What? I believe that Jackson Dart has already shown enough, not even in the statistics, in the way he carries himself, in the energy, in the way he directs traffic, that I think tonight will be a night when Jackson Dart has a good career with the Giants where you look back and go, that was the night as Giants fans we will always remember and never forget. And that night that Jackson Dart arrived as a franchise quarterback for the New York Football Giants, and it came at the hands of beating our rival who has owned us, the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, I cannot wrap my head. And the reason I want to rewatch the game is because they've mentally beaten us. I know I've gone on this this whole preamble.
Yeah.
Bryce, I know you were texting me a little bit. My phone was blowing up. I don't think I fully believed it. Even as the game was going on, I still thought they were going to lose the game because I've been trained to it until Cordell Flott picked off that pass.
Yep.
And when Cordell Flott picked off that pass, I'm not kidding. You guys could kill me for this. There was like a little bit of like a well up of,
Same.
My God. Yeah. Like, this isn't going to end differently. And then even after that, I thought, God, am I going to live another Deshaun Jackson moment? Like, I have all of these nightmares of Philadelphia Eagles losses past. And then the fumble happened. And then you see the replay. And you see that very clearly Dane Belton has forced a fumble that Drew Phillips is picking up. And then you realize, no, it really is over. The Eagles can't come back from this. And then you see Devontae Smith on the verge of tears on the sideline. And you realize that the Giants, our Giants, they broke the will of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Dude, that was the reality of how the Giants are going to win the game. It's exactly what happened. It's a jump on them early. About. You get them to lose all faith in themselves and have this, whole thing hit the, meet its make whatever the hell the phrase is. But this is a brute force skull, what, from start to finish in the trenches everywhere. And Shaun, we saw it at the end of the first half where I'm sure both of us and every other Giants fan thought, the Giants before the half, Brian Daboll burns the timeout. Dude, they were literally about to get a delay of game. Brian Daboll burns the timeout. We're like, all right, here we go. Jake Elliott's going to hit some 55-yard field goal. They're going to go into the half, and they're going to crush us in the second half. That's not what happened. Brian Daboll does get bailed out there, but in the second half, Shaun, they didn't lose a step besides the Jackson Dart scare of an injury. And knock on wood, Shaun, I don't know if you can hear that. Knock on wood.
I heard
I agree with the sentiment that this could be a franchise changer. Barring a major injury, the Giants have their quarterback of the future. And tonight is what cemented that. The Chargers game is where it started. I was there in person. I'm very glad to have witnessed that. That was the start of something special, but this cemented it, Shaun. And there's a lot more. There's a lot more Giants football to be played in Jackson Dart's career and in our lives. But
no doubt, and we'll worry about his career. But this felt different, right? Like I think as a fan base, and for all of you guys listening out here, this just felt different. This felt out of nowhere, like a moment the Giants need to give us moments like this for us to buy in as a fan base, right? I think we can all agree with that. Like, there's been so much damage done to our hearts and souls. They needed moments like tonight. And tonight, with Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo, they gave us a moment that said, this isn't the same shit we've been watching for years. And I thought the real message to this, Bryce, and I mentioned the Flott pit interception, but to be honest with you, Giants get off that hot start and you kind of feel, here going the Eagles hanging around. The Giants 5-minute and 37 second drive at the end of the half, 15 plays that ends up in the end zone. And the Giants have a lead at 20-17 when Cam Scatterbo ran it in with 1:19 left in the half. Was like they haven't done that all year. They gave up the lead. We've seen them give up the lead. But they rallied, and then they didn't settle for a field goal. They scored a touchdown. And then, as the defense is giving up 3 big plays in a row, And as Brian Dable nearly fumbles the end of the first half when he calls a timeout as the Eagles are about to take a delay game with no wide receiver set, they make a big play. Brian Burns makes another big play. I mean, what an all-pro year. And they get away with the Eagles not being able to spike the ball, try to long field goal with Jake Elliott. And the Giants went into the half with a lead that at times felt like they weren't going to have. And that was just such a monumental moment on this Thursday evening where, these Giants, our Giants, they did that? Wait, they gave up the lead, but they got it back, and then they didn't give up a field goal at the end of the half? These Giants? What?
Shaun,
I mean, that was incredible.
They didn't play perfect in this game. Jalen Hurts airmailed Devontae Smith on an easy-ass touchdown. Those types of plays don't happen.
Don't happen. And I don't want to hear
Eagles.
And I don't want to hear how different a game it is if Jalen Hurts hits Devontae Smith. Guess what? Offenses misplays. And what happened on the Giants' offensive drive right before that? Theo Johnson dropped an enormous pass that sent the punt team on the field. So you know what? Tit for tat. You want to play the game? Well, if he hits Devontae Smith, well, if Theo Johnson drops a pass, are they even in position that? So that, I'm not going to have any Eagle fan tell me if that's different. Guess what? It didn't. It didn't. The Giants, think about this. The Giants didn't play perfect football tonight.
They
didn't.
They got beat so many times in coverage, whether it be Javon Holland, Cordell Flott got beat bad a couple times.
Yeah, but Flott still played. Flott played a game. And
dude,
by the way,
amazing.
Big difference, huh? When you sit Deonte Banks the whole game and actually let Flott play. What a moment,
What did I say?
I mean, geez, we called that one on the podcast,
What I've been saying,
that was incredible, man. This is just euphoric. I'm stunned that we're here. And I was watching the game with my dad, and he brought up, man, if we didn't lose the Cowboy game. Well, first of all, if we didn't lose the Cowboy game, Jackson Dart's probably not starting soon. Man, if we didn't lose the Saint game. You're right, the Saint game's going to bother me. But I say this again, the Giant fans listening. Don't worry about not losing the Saint game. Don't worry about it. I know we're so hungry to try to see a playoff team again. Moments like tonight and moments like 2 weeks ago to a lesser extent versus the Chargers are what this season is going to have to be about because the schedule is so damn tough. Watching a rookie quarterback blossom with his young rookie running back with him and playing fun, exciting football, fun, like we give zero fucks kind of football is what the 2025 Giants are going to be all about. And when you get the nights like this and the afternoons like 2 weeks ago and the moments like this, man, just relish in them and walk around as a Giant fan with your head held up high. Because
so
those
you know
people...
what this reminds me of? I don't mean to cut you off. This reminds me of the baby bombers. The Yankees.
Yeah.
No expectation. Different. Football is different than MLB. A lot more crazy shit can happen. Teams who shouldn't be in the playoffs, like the Tigers, right? Like that doesn't happen in any other sport, but it's the best example that you could give with the two sports compared. This is the baby bombers. Like the Giants, the next 5 to 7 years, if they don't win a Super Bowl, it's different. Like a different sport, but we'd be very upset considering what we've seen from Jackson Dart. And again, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's all right.
Very, very fluid.
No.
Both of us are as euphoric as humanly possible. And Shaun, I think both of us, we didn't call this, but
I certainly didn't. I thought they were going to let go of the rope.
We didn't call this, but I like there are a few things that happened in this game that we talked about that.
Because I think the thing is we all saw the writing on the wall with the Eagles, right? We saw the writing on the wall with an Eagle team that's basically been ready to crumble. What we didn't see coming was a Giant team without Malik Neighbors that was ready to throw the right hook to their jaw. And if you thought the Giants would find a way to win this game, it would be, well, the Eagles break down. Wow, what a miracle win. The Giants throttled them. They blew them out. This isn't just a win. They blew out the Eagles at home. And I was at American Dream before the game with the Evan and Tiki show. And the amount of Eagle fans walking through that place, the amount of Eagle green, and you could see it in the stands that I saw in the parking lot. They thought it was homecoming for them. And the idea that all of those people are going home on the turnpike tonight going, what the hell did we just sit through? The amount of taunting I saw in the stands on Amazon Prime was incredible. And there is a father and son, and I'm sorry in the moment of forgetting your name. I met you at American Dream. You flew up from Nashville, Tennessee. So just know I'm thinking of you tonight. You were One Giant Step listeners. And you came up to me and you took a picture, shook your hand. I said this to my father and sisters as I watched the game. I said, I am thinking of these two people today. It was his son's first ever game up at MetLife Stadium. They flew up to do a road trip. He had grown up, I think, in New Jersey, the father. And they were excited to go to a Giant game. But they went in thinking, we're probably going to lose. But you know what? We made the trip and made it worth it. Those two One Giant Step listeners, I hope you've had the trip of a lifetime.
Yep.
Because you saw a moment as a father and son. And I this means a lot to me, man, because I've had a lot of these moments with my dad that you're never going to forget. Like, that's incredible. You came up after sitting through crap Giant football with your Sunday ticket in Nashville, Tennessee, into a hornet's nest of Eagles fans in a home game. and you get to walk out and take a flight home with your head held high because Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbo, and this new era of Giants football sent home all of those losers from Philadelphia unhappy, and you got to experience that. So for all the Giant fans that had to deal with the trash talk in the parking lot, and honestly, for all the Giant fans that had to deal with everything those people from Philly have rubbed in our faces for all of these games we've gone to, this moment's for you.
Dude, and I felt this myself. I'm sure, multitude of other people felt the same thing. But I felt this after the game, Shaun. Me and my roommates have an Eagles fan staying over, and he walks up to me, shakes my hands, congrats on your Super Bowl. I'm like, damn right, this is my Super Bowl. Congrats to me. Yeah, 100%.
You know what? Congrats on your documentary.
Yeah.
Saquon, congrats on your documentary. All right, listen. This was just like an immediate reaction pod that Bryce and I wanted to give you. We have a mini bye week. I think Bryce and I at some point maybe will connect, I don't know, the next day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and just kind of like as more stuff comes out and we hear the Brian Dable presser and just kind of like a reset pod and everything that's happened. So we hope this kind of wets your whistle a little bit. And it will collect our thoughts, our brains, and Giant fans. I'm assuming you're going to be looking for more content, right? I mean, this is the week for it. We will collect our heads, and I promise you an extra pod. How about that? Instead of just the next pod being the preview pod for Denver, I promise you an extra pod.
We have to fully unpack.
Fully flesh this
reaction.
out.
We have to do it.
We'll flesh it out. I don't know when that. Maybe it's not tomorrow. Either way, just know I promise you an extra pod. So download and subscribe to One Giant Step everywhere podcasts are available. I've been to 1 million Yankee games this year. I'm up late doing this stuff. I got my kid's birthday. I'm with you.
You need a break.
I need a break. But I'm going to deliver that to you guys. So thank you for being One Giant Step listeners. Thank you for everybody said hello. And let's go fucking Giants. What a fucking night. Take care, everyone.